Thanks, David, and hello, everyone. In my career, I've worked in every size firm you can imagine, some traditional and others progressive, with every variant in between. Over this time, I've organically built the client base. I've had some clients for over 25 years, and in fact, 99% of the clients I've worked with over the years have travelled with me on my journey to all-in advisory. And I want to share with you some of my top tips in client engagement. So let's start by clarifying what I mean by engage. The technical definition is to occupy or attract someone's interest or attention, to participate or become involved with, to pledge or enter into a contract to do something. We need to attract their attention, become involved and participate in their business, and pledge to meet their why and needs. This is how we can develop long-lasting, fulfilling relationships. It sounds serious, right? It is. We are their trusted advisor, and we can be the catalyst for success or at times failure, and we need to take it seriously. I have one golden rule when it comes to client engagement, that it is never about us. It is always about them. We need to appeal to the customer's self-interest, not ours. So keeping the golden rule in mind, we're going to walk through how to attract the right clients for us, find out what clients really want, and then focusing on keeping and growing the ones that we have. The first part of engagement is attraction. So like bees to the honey, how do we attract the right clients? The ones that fit us, the ones that are drawn to us, the ones that will appreciate what we do and get the most out of the services we can provide. Because I can assure you, not all clients will be the right fit for you. And if you don't attract the right ones, there will be pain for yourself and your team. When I first started out, my boss said to me, we attract clients similar to ourselves. Now, on the majority, I have found this to be true, although there are always outliers, what I like to call the black sheep of the family, if you know what I mean. So does attraction happen organically, or is it something that we can control? I believe there are elements of both, but I'm big on controlling the things that I have power to. So let's take a look at what we can control. In order to be sought out, you need to stand out. So how does a client choose between you and your competitor? What makes you different and why is it important? Specialisation can certainly help you to stand out in the crowd. The analogy I like to use here is if we look at a generalist in a medical environment. It's the doctor. You have fantastic general knowledge about most things and can pick a problem, whereas a specialist has trained in a certain area and has extensive knowledge to solve the problem. The difference, the surgeon gets referrals from doctors and charges more. I know which one I want to be. I differentiate myself through my specialisations in tourism and hospitality and cloud solutions. It is a clear laneway and something to be known for. And if done right, it leads to higher levels of referrals. When I moved to Deloitte, the marketing director at the time said to me, Ali, if you're going to go through the pathway to partnership, you need to stand out for something, as the people next to you may have the same years of experience or talent. She asked if there was something I was really good at or enjoyed, and I said working with tourism and hospitality clients, as I'd always been drawn to that industry, and as luck would have it, I'd worked with many clients in the past in that industry. She said, Al, that's it. That's how you can differentiate yourself. And surprise, surprise, it worked. She said, Al, every time you speak to a partner or co-worker, every time you go out to market, tell them you specialise in tourism and hospitality. Have a clear and consistent message. It took time, but it allowed me to focus and create a clear laneway, helping to set me apart from others so I could stand out from the crowd. It has also been a great referral source, even from other accountants. There is a golden rule with specialisation though, and that is you have to commit, go all in, there is no halfway. It's like a long-term relationship. You need to invest into it to get the most out of it. So know what you do, play to your strengths, and differentiate yourself by it. Ever heard that saying, be you because everybody else is taken? Don't copy what someone else is doing. You can learn from them, but always remember to infuse yourself, your team, and your business into it and steer your own path. I've been working for 25 years and was winning clients along the way, but ever since we started All In, they have literally come flooding in the door. So why now? When we started All In, I made a conscious choice to take off the corporate veil and be unashamedly me, most probably for the first time in my career. It wasn't that I wasn't being myself before, but I was inhibiting parts of myself based upon the expectations of others. When I was unashamedly me, it opened up an entirely different relationship with my clients, and the attraction by potential clients was like bees to the honey. Why? Because I'm being authentic. So what does that mean? To not be false or copied, but to be genuine and real. You need to take tangible actions to show your authenticity, externally and internally. For us, we made sure to future-proof our space. We wanted a welcoming, modern and homely feel. We look and feel different the moment you walk in the door. True to our cloud passion, we are 100% cloud, fully automated and integrated. We are paperless. We worked without a printer for months. We bought a pack of stamps. The price of stamps will most probably go up before we use them all. We question and re-engineer our processes constantly so that when we do it to the clients, we know how it feels. Our socials and branding are consistent and aligned to our why and goals. Where there is alignment with being true to who you are, it draws clients in like honey. It builds believability and trust, and there is head, heart, and gut alignment. Did you know that there is a burgeoning awareness that logic, emotion, and intuition are all involved in the process of decision making, and clients use this whether you realize it or not? Okay, so now it's poll time, and for you to get involved. So you need to go to presentation polls on your screen. The question is going to be, in a poll of executives, what percentage trusted their gut, relying on soft factors and instinct to help them make key decisions? Was it 27%, 51%, 62%, or 90%? So who got it right? It was in fact 62%, a lot higher than what I thought, and it just goes to prove that it is essential to be authentic and be you, because clients can spot a fake a mile off. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of how I engage. Identify your target. Who is your ideal client? Maybe you can sit down and create an avatar. An avatar is essentially what your ideal client looks like. This may be in a particular industry or service that you are going to specialise in, or it could be based on size, individual, small, medium, large, not-for-profit, or personality type, whatever you want it to be. If you're not sure what that might look like, look at the skill sets that you have in-house and what you enjoy doing, what you're good at. Ask your team what they enjoy doing. Something will usually come out of that. But remember to play to your strengths. Refining the pool so you know which fish you want to catch will help you focus to catch the right ones. You can then look to target particular industries or services, as you will get quick wins and have higher success. And trust me on this, you get better margins when servicing those clients because you know it inside and out. Economies of scale, anyone? In essence, be strategic and targeted. The scattergun approach usually doesn't bode well. Once you have identified your target, then the research begins. So how do you do that? If you specialise, it makes it easier. Look at the major players in that industry. How can you get to meet them? Connect via LinkedIn. Does someone in your network know them, and can they make introductions? Who are the industry associations? Become involved, give your time. Who are the influencers in that industry? Follow them, get to know them. What events or training can you attend? In my early days, I had a hit list of influential people in the tourism and hospitality industry, and I would attend events where I knew they would be, and I'd beeline to them. I also had a list of clients that I wanted, and I would target them on the socials and events and put myself in front of them. I'd invite them to events and workshops, and wouldn't you know it, it worked. One of my largest hospitality clients I worked on for over 5 years, and the day I won them, I did a few fist pumps, fairly similar to that H&R Block ad that ran a few years ago that some of you may remember. You can connect and communicate with your targets on the socials by starting to post and share. Have a clear, consistent message. Set yourself up as a specialist. I got on LinkedIn and started connecting with people in the industry, and then I started sharing what I was reading, my own research. I started writing blogs, started attending events and running workshops. I put myself up as a speaker at conferences and posting about it on the socials, and it gained its own momentum. However, this took time and commitment. What's that Pantene ad? It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. And most importantly, do not be afraid to say no. For some, this may be easy. For others, it may prove very difficult. So be brave and courageous and say no to a potential client if you need to. When you know what you're looking for and what suits your business, you then know when to say no, which is a critical component to engagement, as you do not want to engage a client that isn't the right fit for you. Trust your gut on this one, because bet your bottom dollar it will bite you or a team member later, and it is more painful to fix then. So now you have the right client, what on earth do they want? Let's do a quick poll. Let's go back to presentation polls on your screen and answer the question, what services do you think clients want? Was it accounting and tax stuff, business planning and strategy, financial planning, tech services, legal services, to pay little to no tax, for us to be mind readers, money for nothing, JobKeeper anyone? You know that there are some clients who want this when they don't really deserve it. Or maybe it's just all of the above. It's quite a mixed bag of responses, isn't it? This highlights the fact that we should never assume. What's that saying? It makes an ass out of you and me. This reminds me of that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. If we aren't on the same planet, this relationship is going nowhere. So let's delve a little deeper into this. NAB put out a survey providing key insights into the Australian accounting industry. They asked the question, what additional services would SMEs most value or like to receive? The results clearly show the different planets that we're on. Let's just take a quick look at the major differences. For business planning and strategy, accountants thought 14%. Clients wanted it 33% of the time. For business analytics, we thought 10%. Clients want it 7% more than we think. 28% of us thought clients wanted financial planning, but only 6% of clients actually advised that's what they were looking for. Budgeting and forecasting, we thought 4%. It's much higher at 10%. Tech services, we thought 31%. The biggest divide with only 13% of clients wanting it. Legal services, we thought 23%. The clients, 6%. Are we wasting precious time trying to deliver services clients don't want and getting frustrated we can't convince them to take it up? There's something else I want to highlight here. 21% of clients didn't want any of these services. So what on earth do these mysterious creatures want? And how do we find out? I'm pausing to build the suspense here. Are you ready? We ask and we listen. Once we ask and listen, then we know what they are looking for and we can tailor the services they may need and build out a customised plan to suit them. If there are services you cannot provide, refer them on to someone else that can. I want to introduce you to one of my amazing clients, Emma Marks from Deconstruct Digital, to show you the power of asking and listening. I met Emma 3 years ago. She was a referral from another client. When I first met with her, she was scared to see me because she thought I was going to tell her off or talk down to her, as that's what she'd experienced in the past. Like, seriously, is anybody still doing this? And if you are, stop. I asked Emma some simple questions. The first was, what do you want? Let's take a look at the video to find out more.
I remember this one day that Ali gave me a call in relation to some financial matter. And the one thing that stuck out to me was she said, you go back to doing what it is that you do well and you leave this with me because this is my job. And the amount of stress that left my body, I just felt like finally I'd found an accountant that felt like a member of the team. I guess my traditional view of an accountant was very much somebody that you saw once a year and sent you some documents to sign for tax purposes. With All In Advisory, it's very much about monthly meetings, strategy, keeping me informed. I really feel like they're part of my business journey.
It was clear to me after listening to Emma that she wanted a partnership with her accountant, not just a once a year thing. And this is a common thread I hear when people ask what they want from their accountants. We need to move past the once a year thing. With the real-time data we now have, we should utilise it to empower our clients and relationships and harness the technology to help them. In essence, we are able to develop deeper relationships with them. From this simple question, I was able to create a suite of services that would meet her needs. Services that we already provided, accounting, tax, advisory and transactional. I didn't presume to know what she wanted and ramble off every services I wanted her to take up. I also listened to how she wanted those services to be delivered, the experience. Albeit simple, this is a powerful strategy, and when used correctly can engage a client for life. Emma has referred many clients to us, and she describes us as her everything. She even spoke at a Zero Refresh breakfast with me about what clients want. Now that's pretty cool. She's no longer scared to meet with her accountant, she looks forward to it. Emma recently won our Most Improved Financial Performance Award. Now sure, we made that award up just for her, but gosh, she was chuffed. So what other question do I ask my clients? The why. It is an absolute game changer and can be incredibly powerful. Once you know the why, then you can help them to meet it and it engages you on a deeper level. Simon Sinek talks about the golden circle. If you haven't already watched it, I highly recommend you take 15 minutes out of your day to watch his TED Talk. He believes for every business there is a why, a how and a what. That is, why we do it, how we do it, and what we do. Simon believes the power and the way to engage is through the why. For every new client I meet, the first question I ask is, why are you in business? Their answers are powerful, and each time it will change the tone of the meeting, and there is an immediate openness. We get deeper quicker, and it's easier to customize solutions to their why. For every client we onboard, we provide them with their why and a certificate to remind them of what it is and how we can help them to achieve it. In every meeting and every opportunity we get, we make sure to reinforce the why. Let me give you an example. I had a potential new client meet with me. They were looking to set up a cafe. It seemed pretty stock standard and nothing out of the ordinary, until I asked, why are you doing it? I could have assumed it was because he was passionate about food, or he wanted to make very little money for working really hard. Just kidding. I would have provided an appropriate structure, given some accounting and tax advice, thrown in some cloud solutions, and off we go. Their why? He'd had a hard life and gotten himself into trouble with the law until somebody gave him an opportunity in a kitchen. It turned his whole life around. He now has a full-time job looking after disadvantaged kids. He wanted to set up the cafe to give these kids an opportunity to get a job, get new skills, and give them the confidence to turn their lives around. Wow. It was to make a difference in their lives and to give back. It completely changed my approach. The power is in the why. So now we have a right client and we know what they want and their why. How do we keep them? It's delivery time, baby, where the rubber hits the road. And this starts with an onboarding, as first impressions count. And this is where, with a little thought and a lot of process, you can really up the wow factor. A well-oiled onboarding process works a treat here. For instance, once I've met with clients and asked what they want and their why, I prepare a schmick quote through Practice Ignition, including videos, of course. Once accepted, we send a welcome email telling them about us and why we do what we do. We introduce their team and what they can expect. This welcome email contains a link to a client form they fill out online to get all their details, including their why. We then store this information in XPM where everyone can access it. It can't just be in your head, your team aren't mind readers. We then build a plan on how we're going to deliver the services and when. We assign tasks, people, deadlines and deliverables through FYI docs and Asana and follow through. This might be as simple as booking advisory meetings in advance. We then organise what their next contact point will be and we make it soon, communicating every step along the way so they are part of the journey. Make sure to update your marketing lists here too. We use Wix. Don't let anything slip through the cracks. It is seriously all the small things that have the biggest impact. When setting up these systems, think about the end user. And hey, a little personalised gift never goes astray, together with their why certificate, and follow them on the socials. It's amazing what you find out. When it comes to client engagement, I'm going to share with you my can't say no to CC strategies. Some of you may remember those chip ads. And it starts with conscious choices. Did you know that we make approximately 35,000 choices every day? Some conscious, most not. Staggering number, right? Imagine if you took back control of some of those subconscious choices. It can be incredibly powerful. By putting plans and processes in place, you can eliminate a lot of subconscious choices for yourself and your team. If you look at some highly successful people utilising this strategy, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook comes to mind. He wears the same thing every day. Why? He claims dressing in the same way allows him to focus his energy on more important decisions at work. Now, I'm not telling you to wear the same thing every day, but it's food for thought around using our choices wisely every day. By focusing on making conscious choices to deliver to clients and meet their needs and why, you can prioritise and start to be proactive rather than reactive. And trust me on this, clients love it. The second of my can't say no to CCs is to always have the customer in mind. I think about my clients all the time. Some may say, I'm obsessed. I follow them on the socials, a totally acceptable form of stalking, and I highly recommend it. You seriously get to know a lot about what they're up to. When I read or see something that applies to them, I'll let them know. So simple, but it lets them know I'm thinking of them. When I meet with them, I make sure I'm prepared and present. I received a great piece of advice from a former boss who always told me to be prepared for every meeting. Don't just rock up and wing it. So before every meeting, I review prior correspondence and action plans. When they book a meeting, they tell me what they want to achieve from that meeting so I can plan ahead. I also think about what the client might be going through, what lens they may have on, what might have happened since I last saw them, what their why is, and I always show empathy. Try to put yourself in their shoes. Customise to the client. Don't provide a cookie cutter service. Now, don't freak out here. It doesn't mean providing different services for each and every client. The outcome is usually the same, such as accounts and income tax returns, but it's about tweaking delivery and customising it to meet the client's needs. This could be providing in a format that the customer will understand. Do they prefer reading, listening, viewing, graphs, numbers, words? Do they want to be educated on what that means for them or how they can pull levers to get better results? I like to keep on record things like best times to make contact and how they like to be contacted. Phone, email, SMS, instant message. I customise it to them. I also like to reinforce how what we are providing helps to meet their why, and maybe seeing if I can deliver a few wow moments for them and show that I've really listened. Simple, small tweaks go a long way. And don't be afraid to be wildly creative here and think outside the box by doing things a bit differently. If it doesn't work, just make sure that if you fail, you do it quickly and cheaply. Communicate. This is such a critically important piece of the puzzle. You can have the most fantastic product and service, but if you are not communicating it to the client effectively, you can waste your time and theirs, and they won't see the value. You need to take into account how you communicate, customising it to them and providing in a format they understand, making sure there is no judgment or it's not too technical. Keep it simple is a hard and fast rule I live by. Remember that it also includes what you don't say. And if you are meeting virtually or in person, your body language can have a large impact. So make sure they are aligned and clear and consistent to build that head, heart and gut alignment. Acknowledge and respond to them as soon as you can. It has a huge impact and clients appreciate it. Don't leave them hanging, even if it is to say that you have received it. Factor in when and how often you communicate. When is the best day and time, and are you prepared? Did anybody else notice that during COVID, your comms needed to go on warp speed? Clients were desperate for information as it provided them some form of comfort and stability in an ever-changing environment. Our comms during this time actually won us clients. Clients were forwarding on our comms to others if their accountants weren't communicating with them. And lo and behold, it gave us the opportunity to connect with them. We also communicate through the socials. Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook. We post regularly with a clear, consistent message. It is a great way of staying front of mind for contacts and clients, and we've also won work through all of those channels. Community over competition. Building community. It was important pre-COVID, but has certainly become even more important during and will be post-COVID. People need connection, and we have the power to bring them together and build communities. There is strength in numbers. Michelle Obama has been quoted as saying, "People who are truly strong lift others up, but people who are truly powerful bring others together." We want to be those that bring others together, and we do that by connecting clients and building community through webinars and workshops. On a monthly basis, we get a group of clients and contacts together and deliver education and content. It allows them to open up about their businesses and share. The topics that are discussed are many and varied, but what they always take from it is that they don't need to do it alone. We've had clients start to work with each other from those workshops, which brings me the greatest joy. It is also a good way of getting new clients through the door and helps to build deeper relationships and makes them sticky. And finally, the piece de resistance, consistency. The silent superhero that glues them all together. When something happens again and again, it's consistent. It becomes reliable and trustworthy, and a solid foundation to build on. We live in unprecedented times of change, but the one thing that shouldn't change is our consistent effort to meet our clients' why and needs. Let me tell you about the most consistent person I have ever known. It's my dad. He's unassuming and considered, he's wise and kind, hardworking and loving, and yet there is one thing that stands out the most and makes him my superhero in every sense of the word. He is consistent. From the day I was born to now, he's been consistent. If he says he's going to do something, he does. If he says he's going to help, he does. If he says he's going to be somewhere, he is, and always early. It is all of the small things he has consistently delivered, of always showing up and delivering, that allows me to rely on him, build our relationship, and makes him my go-to every time. His consistency and reliability has enabled me to succeed in unimaginable ways. That is what I want to be as a person, but also to my clients, to show up, to be reliable, to deliver every time, and to be the consistent supporter to help them achieve their why. Being consistent in all of these things will deliver success. It will deliver you a rock-solid foundation on which to build a relationship with your clients. Your clients will learn to rely on it and go back to it, as they know it will always be there and always deliver, and it gives them peace of mind. It's not always the biggest and best. It is the consistency that will find you success. We end where we began. If there is only one thing that you can remember from this presentation, it is this: that it is never about us. It is always about them. So from my team to yours, thank you. And we hope that some of our strategies we utilise to attract and engage clients will help you. And hey, if you use them and find better ways, let us know. Don't forget to go to my speaker profile and connect with me on any of the socials. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day at BGL RegTech Engage.